Hey guys, it's TheRykerDane. I'm going to show you how to change a water pump on a 1996 Ford Mustang GT. Okay, so what we're going to do is take off this pulley with these 4 bolts here, and the water pump is right behind that, and then we're going to replace the serpentine belt. And here's a different angle showing that I don't have my radiator in right now because I'm doing that job at the same time as replacing this water pump. So what you're going to need is a socket wrench and an open-ended wrench to try to break these bolts free. If the serpentine belt is on the pulley, it's going to be a lot easier to break these bolts free than if it's off. So make sure you do this step before you remove your serpentine belt. So as soon as you get those broke free, just unscrew those just a little bit, and then we can pull out the serpentine belt. What you're going to do is in that silver tensioner arm right there, you're going to take your socket wrench, stick it in there, push it down, it'll take the tension off, and you can remove it from the alternator. And then after that, just keep removing the belt. It'll be looped around all the different pulleys, and just keep pulling it off and kind of remember where you put it so that you can put it back in the same spot when we put the new one on. Now what you're going to need is a hammer, and you're going to need to tap on this pulley, and you may need to tap it at first, but it may just take a good whack. Just like that, and it'll come off. That's on there pretty good. So as soon as that is off, then we're going to take our socket wrench again, and we're going to loosen the bolts on the water pump itself. There's 4 of them, and we're going to break those free. And once you get them broke free, then you just unscrew them by hand and pull them out, and that's the length of the bolts. So once you remove all the bolts, you're going to need a hammer again, and you're going to need a tap on this water pump to get it out of there because it's really in there. It's got a really snug fit. Just need a tap from different angles on the pump so you don't damage any of the housing that holds the water pump in. Just from different angles, may need to pound a little bit harder, but you just kind of work it out until it finally pops out like that. And a little bit of coolant may come out at the same time. And what I like to do is take some steel wool and clean up any corrosion and shine it up real nice. So here is the new water pump. It's got brand new and shiny, sparkly. It's got a little rubber gasket on the inside that you're going to need to make sure is there before you put it in. Here's the old one compared to the new one. The old one's nice and rusty and corroded and needs to go. I think it's the stock one. Okay, so then at this point, you're going to install the new water pump, and it may take a little bit of effort to push it in, but make sure it's going straight in and not at an angle because you don't want to damage the housing, but it's going to be a snug fit. And as soon as you get it in, then you'll just take your bolts and finger tighten those in, each one of those bolts, and then we're going to take a torque wrench after that, and we're going to torque those bolts down from 15 to 22 foot-pounds. And make sure when you're torquing these bolts down, 15 to 22 is really not that heavy of a pressure. So make sure you're not going farther than that. Just do it until the wrench clicks. And once you're done with that, we'll put the pulley back on and start those 4 bolts on. And we'll do the same thing with the torque wrench, 15 to 22 pounds. And if you're strong enough, you'll be able to hold this pulley and tighten the bolts and let it click. Or you can wait until the serpentine belt is on, and then it will give you a little bit more tension. So I'm going to install a brand new serpentine belt, and if you forgot how to put it back on, there's a diagram on the back of the package. So you just look for the Ford 4.6 liter engine. First thing you're going to want to do is put the belt through that tensioner arm right there and put it down around that bottom pulley and bring it back, and then just start working the belt in up and down around the pulleys. And there's only going to be one way to put it on correctly. And once you get it all set and put back in there, you want to be able to put it on the alternator last. So you'll get your socket wrench again and stick that in the tensioner arm and push down to relieve some tension, and take the belt and put it back up on the alternator. And when you do that, just keep that tension there and make sure all the belts are good and they're in line properly where they should be. And there you go. You have a brand new water pump and a brand new serpentine belt. And all you have left to do is get in the car and start it up. But I have my radiator out, so I need to install that first, and then I'll start it up, and I'll be ready to go. I hope changing this water pump helped you out with your 1996 Ford Mustang GT. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.